Diddy's legal representative Mark Agniflow has recently stated that 50 Cent has effectively destroyed any remaining possibility of Diddy being released through an appeal. The release of 50 Cent's latest Netflix documentary, Sean Combs: The Reckoning, has introduced new evidence related to Sean Combs that has significantly intensified scrutiny around his legal situation. These new revelations have also reignited widespread attention toward the long-standing and controversial murder case of Tupac Shakur. With these developments unfolding and public interest growing stronger, it is becoming increasingly clear that Diddy is unlikely to secure his freedom in the foreseeable future.
50 Cent don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. He literally is saying he's going to reach out to Trump to remind Trump of the things that P. Diddy has said about him for the sole express purposes of making sure that Trump doesn't pardon Diddy in the event that Diddy gets convicted of trafficking and racketeering. That's what 50 Cent is sworn to do. And I got to admit to you, that's wild. Damn, you know you got an enemy there when the man want to go out of his way to contact the president, and clearly he has some kind of inroads where he can get to President Trump so President Trump can hear him. He's basically saying, yo, brother need to go down.
Diddy was already in serious trouble even before this situation escalated any further. Reports had surfaced earlier claiming that he was caught violating prison rules by drinking alcohol and making unauthorized phone calls while in custody. That alone put him under heavy scrutiny and damaged his position even more. However, the release of this documentary appears to have pushed things past the point of recovery. According to those close to the situation, this project may have permanently destroyed any remaining chance he had to control the narrative, and Diddy himself seems fully aware of the impact it's having. This growing pressure is believed to be the main reason he is aggressively trying to have the documentary removed from public view. His legal team has already taken formal action by issuing a cease and desist notice, and they are now reportedly preparing to take the matter even further. The lawyers are allegedly threatening to file a massive lawsuit, demanding over $1 billion in damages, naming both 50 Cent and Netflix as defendants. Despite these threats, the situation may not turn out the way Diddy's team is hoping. Sources indicate that 50 Cent obtained all the footage used in the documentary through legal means, leaving little room for claims of wrongdoing on his side. If that is the case, the legal pressure being applied may not be enough to stop the documentary or reverse the damage already done.
It's that Diddy's legal team sent Netflix a cease and desist letter, but now the big rumor is that they're preparing a defamation lawsuit, potentially for $1 billion over the Sean Combs: The Reckoning documentary. They're claiming it uses stolen and unauthorized footage to create a shameful hit piece and damages reputation.
Is there precedent? Because when it's a documentary, footage doesn't necessarily have to be approved if it's considered a news piece.
And since you didn't watch it, Ebro, there is one piece.
I watched some of it.
Where, there's very intimate footage of Diddy with his lawyers. But in the documentary, it also talks about how he hired a young person to film him for X amount of hours, a lot, and didn't pay him. So if 50 comes along and is like, I will pay you for this footage.
Well,
that's the biggest congrats, by the way.
Well, depending on what the documentation is between that
that person
and Diddy.
Yeah.
Right? If that documentation says that this footage is yours if I am paid. If I am not paid, the footage is mine.
Well, no, but I think the default would be it's his. If they didn't end up doing
person.
paperwork and the guy's just been allowed access, that's his footage.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. If there's not paperwork.
So if Diddy never signed paperwork, he was like, no, I'm going to get you when I get you.
Yeah, that's right.
Now Diddy never gave him $1. Now Diddy went to jail. He's holding all this footage. 50 goes, I'd like that footage. All right, how much, bud?
Yeah.
Right. If that agreement says that this footage is yours if I am paid. If I am not paid, the footage belongs to me. Well, no, but I think the default would be that it's his. If they never actually completed the paperwork and the guy was simply given access, then that footage is his. Oh yeah, 10,000 isn't paperwork. So if Diddy never signed any paperwork and he's like, no, I'm going to pay you when I pay you. Yeah, that's right. Now Diddy never paid him a single dollar. Now Diddy went to jail. He's holding on to all this footage. 50 says, I like that footage. All right, how much, buddy? Yeah. This documentary also destroyed any relationship that Diddy might have had with his lawyers. Exclusive, never-before-seen footage of Diddy scheming with his lawyers and allegedly even planning crimes was released. And Diddy's lawyers are angry. Diddy secretly recorded phone calls between himself and his lawyers are not happy about being exposed like that.
Boy, Diddy really screwed over Mark Agnifilo. I gotta say, this is awful that Diddy owes his life to Mark Agnifilo, literally his life, because he could have gotten life in prison were it not for Mark Agnifilo, his defense lawyer, who had a brilliant strategy. And Diddy screwed him over when he hired this videographer to chronicle his life without telling Mark Agnifilo that when Diddy and Mark were on the phone, this videographer was recording what Mark clearly expected to be an attorney-client privileged relationship. Now, it is true that the client holds that privilege, the lawyer doesn't, but Mark's clear expectation was that this was a private conversation. These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and try to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, you are screwing this up, you are messing up this case, we're losing. And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on.
The only reason Diddy was ever able to get released was because of the tactics his lawyers used and the way they persuaded the jury to let him go, even though Diddy had been caught on tape. If his lawyers choose to step back, especially with the new cases, then Diddy is never getting out.
And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay, but Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair.
Diddy thought he would walk away a free man and was planning to release a documentary himself. The only reason 50 ever got his hands on this footage is because Diddy betrayed the videographer and refused to pay him. Diddy, a billionaire, was trying to cheap out on paying his videographer. 50 Cent confirmed this in an Instagram post where he shared Roger Bonds saying this and added that Diddy's lawyers will not have to work overtime.
Calls, I'm getting it, it's your boss. Yo, man, yo, how 50 get? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, Puff, take this self-doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right, whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P Diddy. They want that opportunity, so they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get the, yo, this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity.
50 isn't just releasing new evidence. He's actively making calls and writing letters to the judge in an effort to block Diddy's appeal. To make things even worse for Diddy, 50 isn't finished with the footage he already has. In a recent interview, 50 confirmed that he possesses more than 140 hours of footage showing Diddy engaging in criminal activity. This footage is scheduled to be released on YouTube in the coming months. It's even possible that 50 is coordinating with law enforcement on this.
I knew 50 Cent was not done with Diddy. I knew 50 Cent was not done with Diddy. He just confirmed that he has more stuff on Diddy that he couldn't even fit in the 4 episodes in the new Netflix Diddy documentary. With 50, it is so hard telling what this man got his hands on, but he said this in reference to the videos that he got of Diddy before he went to jail.
A lot of the personal footage of Diddy, it shocked a lot of people. And I know, 50, the way you run, this cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that you just have not shown?
Yeah, well, everything couldn't make the... It was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot. You had to pick and choose things.
And on top of him saying that he has more dirt on Diddy, he is also saying that more people came to him with allegations against Diddy that never made it into the Netflix documentary. With the anticipation, they ask him, are you going to make a second documentary and put it on Netflix since you have all of this stuff? And he says that he is about to put it on YouTube.
With everything that was out and all of these people that were coming forward, have there been any new tips that you've gotten since it has been released?
Well, yeah, everyone starts to feel a little more comfortable when they see other people telling their truth about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's got to be something on YouTube coming.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie, I felt like certain things were left out of this documentary.
Just a few months ago, Diddy's attorneys confirmed that they were planning to appeal his convictions and said they were confident that Diddy would be released on bail. Diddy genuinely believed that he had done nothing wrong, and that even though he was convicted, he should be allowed to walk away without serving any jail time.
So yeah, we are planning to appeal. I want to hear them, bro. We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal. The strongest basis is that the jury reached a verdict on coercion. It found there was not coercion, and I think the judge said coercion today as a basis for a sentence at least a dozen times. We think that that is unconstitutional. We think that a jury verdict should mean more than our jury's verdict seems to mean, and so we are planning to appeal.
Absolutely. If the prosecution files a cross appeal, what would happen in that regard if they filed a cross appeal and then Sean Diddy Combs get a higher sentence?
He would not get a higher sentence, and they're not gonna cross appeal. We're gonna appeal. We think we're right, and they'll respond to the appeal, and it'll be decided by the Second Circuit as soon as.
Tell us about the conversation you had with your client after the sentencing. Consensual. The judge clearly thought the sexual encounter encounters weren't consensual.
Because he's
What did you
biased.
make of his remarks?
He's biased. If anyone, I'm happy to go. So we think that's just absolutely inconsistent with the jury's verdict. I mean, the jury's verdict was resoundingly clear. There was no sex trafficking. There was no racketeering. Everything was consensual. Everything was adult, which is why he was convicted only of the prostitution offense. What we feel happened today was that the judge acted as a 13th juror, one that we did not choose, and that he second-guessed the jury's verdict.
And it wasn't just an appeal that Diddy was planning to rely on. Before the release of this documentary, President Trump confirmed that Diddy's team had reached out to him seeking a pardon. TMZ even reported that it was possible Diddy could be released as early as the end of this year if everything went according to his plan. This is the same pardon that Diddy was asking for even before he was sentenced. Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, said that Diddy instructed them to contact Trump and tell him, "I need a pardon."
We are following some breaking news right now, and Sean Combs is taking the first step to appeal his conviction and prison sentence. His attorney today filed a notice of appeal. Earlier this month, the disgraced music mogul was sentenced to 4 years in prison on prostitution-related charges. His lawyers have argued the conviction should not stand because Combs lacked a financial motive for transporting male escorts. More papers detailing the arguments behind the appeal are expected to be filed soon.
50 has been trying to stop Diddy from getting away with it at every step, and he's one of the biggest reasons Diddy wasn't able to pull any shady tricks. 50 even submitted a letter to the judge before Diddy's sentencing, asking for a longer sentence.
Said, you know what, you guys? Let me also write a letter to the judge. 50 said, "Dear Judge Subramanian, I have an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He's very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite him trying to teach a class in there. As you are already aware, the government has spent the maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appear to be an army in 2 locations simultaneously. Later, his son, who's dealing with his own rape allegations. Hey, come on, brother. Come on, man. What Christian Combs got to do with this, 50? He claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public. And babies need it. My Netflix doc on this scandalous subject is coming soon. Oh man, this is downright evil, you guys. Why would 50 send this to the judge?
Believe it or not, some people are actually going after 50 Cent for exposing Diddy, claiming that 50 is simply jealous of Diddy's success. But that argument completely falls apart when you look at the facts. 50 Cent isn't a struggling artist trying to stay relevant. He's a multi-millionaire with businesses across music, television, and film. At this stage of his career, he has absolutely nothing to gain from jealousy and everything to lose by speaking out.
50 Cent isn't fazed by the online hate after some social media users called the rapper, quote, petty for producing the Netflix documentary Sean Combs' The Reckoning. 50 Cent tells the Go Derby in an interview published December 9th that he really doesn't sweat the criticism, saying, "I accept that, I'll take that, I'll wear that. I have antics that I have become comfortable with on social media." And while some believe the docuseries is a, quote, hit piece on Combs, the rapper maintains that was never the intent, explaining they did characterize it as a hit piece in the very beginning. It's because they didn't get a chance to watch it when they were saying that. And then after they see it, you see everyone's changed their mind and it's become the #1 doc. And as for Combs' thought on the Netflix series, the mogul spoke out against his rival shortly before the project hit the platform, with his attorney telling Variety on December 1st, Netflix's so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece. Netflix relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. As Netflix and CEO Ted Sarandos know, Mr. Combs has been amassing footage since he was 19 to tell his own story in his own way. It is fundamentally unfair and illegal for Netflix to misappropriate that work.
50 responded to the backlash in his own way during an interview with NBC. He told NBC News that his motivation was that if he stayed silent, people would assume hip-hop was fine with Diddy's behavior and that no one else was willing to speak up, framing it as a culture issue rather than a clout move. In related interviews around the same time, he openly said that he would accept the petty label and wear it.
And a black man shouldn't be doing this to another black man. How come we not having conversations about what Diddy did to other black people? Like when you watch that documentary, every person on that documentary except for Aubrey O'Day is black. So how come nobody is saying a black man shouldn't do that to other black people? Because here's the thing, there are things we know Diddy did because we saw it, and there are things he's being accused of. We don't know if they're true. Right. But either way, majority of people who are accusing him of something are black. So I don't understand why, there's not more conversations about that. But everybody's so, 50 Cent shouldn't be doing this to another black man. What about all the black people Diddy did and allegedly did stuff to?
This documentary is just one of several projects that have documented Coles's rise to fame and eventual downfall. But according to Stapleton, what sets this one apart is how different it truly is from the rest. He explains that there is a significant amount of new information included, information that hasn't been fully explored or clearly presented before. No one had ever really taken the time to connect all the dots in this way or lay everything out so thoroughly and cohesively. From 50 Cent's perspective, he says, this isn't just about telling a story or creating content. He explains that he feels a genuine sense of obligation to speak up and be involved, believing that staying silent would be the wrong thing to do, given everything that has come to light.
Yeah, he got everybody going, man. He's getting a lot of backlash, man. Like, people are like mad at 50 for getting behind this thing.
Well, see, the thing about it is that people are out their rabbit-ass mind. And they gonna sit up here and they gonna say some stuff like, they try to make it up like, it's because of a girl, it's because of a woman. A man that can have any woman in the damn world, you understand, go any parts of the world, find beautiful women all over the world, that's willing to do whatever he wants to. I'ma be mad because this dude got this one? Nah, it's bigger and it's more than that. They don't wanna say it. A lot of these cats out here don't wanna tell the truth behind shit. You understand? When 50 was out here, trying to get into, he was writing for most of Puff stuff. He was writing for artists. He was writing for different people. LL, Puff, whatever he can get money at, to do some writing and stuff like that. Jam Master Jay had him writing shit, something like that. So Fifth was writing. Then when he did How to Rob the Industry Cat joint, he's supposed to be the next one to come out of New York. You understand what I'm saying? He gets in this beef, with Murder Inc., Ja, Irv Gotti, Supreme them. They try to eliminate him. Then Puff and the other people put a tag on him where it's that, don't let him make no money. Don't sign him. You ain't gonna have none but problems. They put a bad tag on him. You understand? He got to go to the West Coast and with Dre and Eminem to get his deal. You understand what I'm saying? So they put this tag on him to stop him from eating his craft. You understand? They try to kill him, you understand, because they got a problem with him. And then you supposed to have some love, so people who try to take you out of here, try to stop you from eating and everything like that. Diddy was a part of that too.
Diddy has actively started threatening 50 for speaking out against him, and it's become clear that someone on the outside is helping make that possible. Just one day after 50's documentary exposing the alleged crimes of Sean Combs aired, 50 received a bouquet of flowers that had been sent directly to him by Diddy. 50 later shared this publicly on his Instagram, making it clear that he understood exactly what Diddy was really trying to say and imply by sending those flowers.
All right, the diddler has sent 50 Cent some damn flowers while he locked up, bro. All right, we all know Diddy is mad about this whole docuseries that 50 put out on Netflix and is #1 going crazy, so you know he mad. Now, according to 50, all right, these are some warning flowers. Y'all know how Diddy used to get down. You know, he used to send people shit in the mail. He'll send a nigga to blow up a car. Y'all know how he get down. So if he mad, clearly he's mad about this documentary. Bro sent 50 some flowers at his hotel while he was in Miami, bro. Now, I ain't gonna show the address on these flowers, but 50 posted the whole address. Now, in the caption, 50 said, "What kind of gay shit is this? Diddy send me flowers at Club 11, LOL. LOL, why all the foreplay? Get busy, you know I'm stupid." Then he commented again and said, "A warning, I'm 90s grimy. You don't warn me, LOL." So y'all know why Diddy sent this. He ain't send it because he happy or proud of 50 for dropping this goddamn docuseries on his demon ass, bro.
50 also shut down the rumors that he was doing all of this out of anger toward Diddy over claims that he had dated 50's baby mama.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. We are following new developments in the case of the hip-hop mogul who is facing RICO charges in New York. Sean P. Diddy Combs. Court TV has just confirmed that the family of Tupac Shakur is investigating a potential link between the murder of Tupac and Sean Diddy Combs. This coming from attorney Alex Spiro, who represents Tupac's family. Now, this investigation had been previously reported by unnamed sources, but earlier today, Spiro confirmed to our Court TV team that he and a team of investigators has been hired.
Sean Combs allegedly had business dealings with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who will go on trial next March for the murder of Tupac. This was back in 1996. Some have speculated that Diddy ordered Tupac's death. That, of course, is just a theory at this point, and we are monitoring the developments in both the Tupac murder trial and the federal indictment of Sean Diddy Combs. So a lot of information to come on that one.
For Diddy, the worst-case scenario right now would be facing another federal trial, and 50 Cent is doing everything in his power to make that a reality. A major focus of the documentary series centers on Diddy's alleged connection to the murders of Tupac and Biggie. According to claims presented in the series, Diddy allegedly hired Keefe D to shoot Tupac for $1 million. In response to these allegations, Tupac's family has now hired a private investigator to look further into the matter.
Let me ask you this. I get it. When you have a case that's 5 years old, it's hard to get overwhelming evidence that meets the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. When you have cases this old, no matter what Fiddy has found out and put in this documentary, do you see it at all ever possible that Diddy could be involved in a murder trial when it comes to Biggie and Tupac?
It could be possible, yes. However, like I said, they need a lot of corroboration to make that stick, because it's really alleged right now as to his involvement. It's not anything that's substantial or concrete that he was involved. It's personally from people talking about it and saying this is what happened. You need some more information to come forward to prove that.
50 also shut down the rumors that he was doing all of this out of anger toward Diddy over claims that he had dated 50's baby mama.
50 Cent's highly anticipated documentary about Sean Diddy Combs is officially here. And we hear from 2 jurors from the Diddy trial, some accusers who spoke out for the documentary, and 50 Cent got his hands on some footage that Diddy claims belongs to him.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us, that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business. We're losing.
I reached out to Sean Combs' spokesperson, who tells me that the reason why that personal footage exists is because Sean Combs has been documenting his own life since he was 19 years old. They say that this footage was captured from a personal videographer hired by Sean Combs.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. Because you'll see people saying that. I mean, he may feel a different way about pieces and bits of it, but he knows the truth.
His lawyers even sent a cease and desist letter to Netflix, which I have obtained. I reached out to Netflix and they referred me to a statement from the documentary's director who says, quote, "It came to us, we obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights."
Law enforcement officers have also confirmed that an investigation into this matter was already underway. The main challenge they're currently facing is getting witnesses or involved parties to come forward, confess, and provide information that could implicate Diddy.